And it very much reminds me of something that you've said many times, which is that when you had been working in television before you started writing the books, you were so frustrated by how you couldn't get the sort of scale, the grandeur and scale that you wanted. And you knew that in fiction you could just do whatever you want, or make it as big as you want. And this is really big and really impressive. Can you talk a little bit about, what inspired this particular idea, the idea of the wall?
Well, it was Hadrian's Wall, actually. In 1981, 10 years before I even dreamed of writing these books, I visited England for the first time, and my friend Lisa Tuttle, with whom I'd collaborated on Windhaven, was driving me around England and Scotland and showing me the sights. And we came to Hadrian's Wall, or the bit that remains to it. And it was around this time of year, actually. It was late October. It was fall. It was getting dark and cold in England and Scotland, and we arrived right near sunset as the last of the tour buses were leaving. So we climbed up on the wall and pretty much had it to ourselves, which was really cool because we didn't have a lot of tourists around us. And I stood up there, and the wind was blowing, and the sun was going down, and I looked off and I tried to imagine what it was like to be a Roman legionary from Italy or North Africa or the Near East, who'd been sent to this really cold place on the edge of the world, and who knew what the hell was beyond there. And you were like the last outpost of what they thought of as the civilized world. And they had legends and beliefs. And they made very well. I thought there were monsters or demons beyond there, depending on where they came from. And of course, we know that what was actually beyond there were Scotsmen and and Picts. There were Picts back then. But it was a profound feeling. And many years later, when I came to write these books, it came back to me, and I said, I want to do that too. The whole idea of a wall defending civilization against unknown threats beyond, and the people who have to stand on that wall and defend that wall, stirred something profound in me that, and I wanted to evoke that. Of course, in fantasy, you take something real as your root, but you make it bigger and more colorful. So this is a lot bigger than Hadrian's Wall, and it's made of ice, which is kind of cool, and actually needs some magic in it to keep it up and all that. But it's an amazing thing, and of course, in the world of Westeros, it's one of the 8 wonders of the world, or the 7 wonders of the world of Lomas Long. No, actually, that's the 9 wonders made by man. Lomas Longstrider. So, and it would be if it existed in our world too. In fact, I was recently in Scotland for the Edinburgh Book Festival, and they were about to have their vote on independence, whether they should secede from the United Kingdom or not. And I suggested that if they did, they should build a giant ice wall between Scotland and England, and it would be an amazing tourist attraction, and really help the economy of both countries.
You might have some trouble keeping it from melting.